What if I told you that in just 4 minutes, you could move closer to any desire you have? Not someday, not next year, but right now. Would you take those 4 minutes seriously, or would you waste them like you've wasted so many before? Because the truth is this: your life is not built in years. It is built in moments. And if you can master 4 minutes, you can start mastering your destiny. Desire is not just a wish, it is the starting point of creation. But most people treat their desires casually. They say things like, I want a better life, or I want success, without ever defining what that truly means. And that is where the problem begins. Anything undefined cannot be achieved with precision. If your mind does not have a clear target, it cannot direct your energy effectively. You must turn your desire into something specific, something measurable, something real. What exactly do you want? How does it look? How does it feel? When do you want it? The clearer the picture, the stronger the pull. But clarity alone is not enough. Your desire must be emotionally charged. Why? Because emotion is the fuel that drives action. A weak desire produces weak effort. A powerful, emotionally connected desire creates urgency. It pushes you to move when you feel like stopping. It keeps you focused when distractions appear. Ask yourself, why does this matter to me? What will change in my life when I achieve it? What pain am I trying to leave behind? And what future am I trying to step into? When you connect your desire to a deep reason, it stops being optional. It becomes necessary. Your mind is constantly filtering information, deciding what to pay attention to. When your desire is clear and emotionally alive, your brain begins to notice opportunities that were always there, but previously ignored. You start thinking differently. You start acting differently. You become aligned with your goal. This is how transformation begins, not with luck, not with chance, but with a clearly defined, deeply felt desire that you refuse to ignore. Focus is not just concentration, it is direction. It is the ability to take all your scattered thoughts, all your energy, all your potential, and point it toward one clear target. Most people don't lack ability, they lack focus. They start something, then switch. They get excited, then distracted. They chase multiple goals at once and end up making progress in none. Divided attention produces diluted results, but when you focus, everything changes. Think about it. What you consistently focus on begins to grow in your life. If you focus on problems, you will see more problems. If you focus on limitations, you will feel more limited. But if you focus on solutions, opportunities, and progress, your mind begins to expand in that direction. Focus is like a magnifying glass. When sunlight passes through it, nothing happens until you concentrate it on one point. Then it becomes powerful enough to ignite fire. That is exactly how your mind works. You must train yourself to eliminate distractions. Not everything deserves your attention. Not every opportunity is your opportunity. Learn to say no to what does not align with your goal. Protect your time. Protect your energy. Because every moment you spend distracted is a moment stolen from your future. Ask yourself, what am I giving my attention to every day? Is it moving me closer to my desire or pulling me away from it? Be honest. Then make a decision. Narrow your focus. Simplify your actions. Commit to one direction with intensity. When your focus becomes sharp and consistent, your progress accelerates. You stop feeling overwhelmed. You stop second-guessing. You move with clarity and purpose. And once your energy is aligned with a single vision, results are no longer random. They become inevitable. Your words are not just sounds, they are instructions. Every sentence you repeat to yourself is shaping what you believe. and what you believe determines how you act. Most people underestimate this. They speak casually, negatively, and without awareness. I can't do this. This is too hard. Maybe I'm not capable. And then they wonder why they hesitate, why they procrastinate, why they stay stuck. It's because their language is working against them. You must understand this. Your mind listens to you. It does not argue. It does not filter truth from assumption. It accepts repetition as reality. So, if you constantly feed it doubt, it will produce fear. If you constantly feed it confidence, it will produce action. That's the power of words. Start speaking with intention. Not empty hype, not false promises, but deliberate constructive language that aligns with where you are going. Instead of saying, I can't, say, I'm learning. Instead of this is impossible, say, this is challenging, but I'll figure it out. These small shifts change your internal environment. They create space for growth instead of shutting it down. But it doesn't stop at thinking. You must say it out loud. When you speak with conviction, you activate a deeper level of belief. Your body responds. Your posture changes. Your energy rises. You begin to carry yourself differently. Ask yourself, what have I been telling myself every day? Is it building me or breaking me? Because whether you realize it or not, you are programming your future with your words. Choose them wisely, repeat them consistently, align them with your goals. When your language changes, your belief strengthens. And when your belief strengthens, your actions follow. That's how transformation truly begins, from the inside out. Action is the dividing line between intention and reality. You can think, plan, and prepare all you want, but nothing changes until you move. And here is where most people get trapped. They overanalyze. They wait for clarity. They tell themselves, I just need a little more time. But time does not create progress. Action does. Clarity does not come before action. It comes because of action. You must train yourself to move immediately, not recklessly, but decisively. The moment you identify what needs to be done, take a step. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be complete. It just has to begin. Because once you start, something powerful happens. You build momentum, and momentum makes the next step easier and the next one faster. Think about it. Hesitation drains energy, but action creates energy. The longer you delay, the heavier the task feels. The more you think about it, the more resistance you create. But when you act, even in a small way, you break that resistance. You prove to yourself that movement is possible. Ask yourself right now, what have I been putting off? What decision have I been avoiding? What step have I been delaying? Stop waiting. Take one action. Send that message. Start that task. Make that call. Write that first line. Perfection is not your goal. Progress is. You don't need the entire path revealed. You only need the courage to take the next step. And once you do, the path begins to unfold. This is how results are built. Not in giant leaps, but in immediate, consistent actions. You don't need more ideas, you need execution. And the moment you act, you shift from dreaming to doing, from wishing to becoming. Your mind is always creating pictures, whether you control it or not. The question is, are those pictures helping you move forward or holding you back? Most people imagine failure more vividly than success. They rehearse what could go wrong. They see obstacles, rejection, delay. And without realizing it, they train themselves to expect those outcomes. But you have the ability to redirect that power. Visualization is not fantasy. It is mental preparation. When you intentionally picture your goal as already achieved, you begin to build familiarity with success. You reduce fear because your mind starts to recognize that scenario as normal, not foreign. Athletes do this, leaders do this, high performers do this. They see it before they step into it. Close your eyes for a moment and ask yourself, what does winning look like for me? Where am I? What am I doing? Who is around me? How do I feel? Don't rush it. Build the image in detail. The clearer and more vivid it becomes, the stronger its impact on your mindset. But the key, you must connect emotion to that vision. Don't just see it, feel it. Feel the pride of achieving it. Feel the relief of overcoming struggle. Feel the excitement of progress. Emotion anchors the image deep into your mind, making it more than a thought. It becomes a belief. When you consistently visualize your success, your brain begins to align your behavior with that outcome. You start making decisions that match the person in your vision. You begin to notice opportunities that support it. You carry yourself with more confidence because you've already experienced the result internally. So take control of your mental images. Don't let doubt paint your future. Design it, see it, feel it, and then step into it with intention. Discipline is what carries you when motivation fades, and it will fade. There will be days when you don't feel like showing up, when your energy is low, when distractions are louder than your purpose. That's normal. The mistake is thinking you must feel ready before you act. Discipline rejects that idea. Discipline says, I act because I decided, not because I feel like it. Most people rely on motivation, and that's why they are inconsistent. And they move when they're inspired, and they stop when they're not. But progress doesn't respond to feelings, it responds to repetition. What you do consistently shapes your identity, and your identity determines your results. Think about it. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you build trust. Every time you break it, you weaken that trust. Discipline is simply the practice of keeping your word to yourself even when it's inconvenient, especially when it's inconvenient. Start small, but stay consistent. You don't need extreme routines or impossible standards. You need simple actions repeated daily. Show up when it's easy. Show up when it's hard. Show up when no one is watching. That's where real growth happens. Ask yourself, can I rely on myself? When I say I will do something, do I follow through? If the answer is no, then that's where you begin. Build that reliability. Strengthen that internal commitment, because discipline doesn't just help you reach your goal. It transforms you into someone who can sustain it. Anyone can start, few can continue, and the ones who continue are the ones who win. So, stop negotiating with your excuses. Stop waiting for perfect conditions. Decide your standard and live by it every single day. Big results are not built in one dramatic moment. They are built in quiet, consistent steps that most people overlook. There is a tendency to believe that success requires a massive breakthrough, a sudden leap, a single opportunity that changes everything overnight. But that mindset creates pressure, and pressure often leads to inaction. When the task feels too big, people delay. They wait, they avoid, and progress stops before it even begins. The truth is much simpler and much more powerful. Small steps taken consistently create momentum, and momentum creates transformation. One action may seem insignificant, but repeated daily, it compounds, it grows, it multiplies. Over time, those small efforts turn into visible results. Think about it this way. If you improve just a little every day, even by a small margin, you are not the same person after a week, a month, a year. Your skills sharpen, your confidence increases, your understanding deepens. But if you do nothing or act inconsistently, you stay in the same place wondering why nothing is changing. Ask yourself, what is one simple step I can take today that moves me forward? Not something overwhelming, not something perfect, just one clear action. Then repeat it tomorrow and the next day and the next. Consistency builds rhythm. Rhythm builds discipline, and discipline produces results. You don't need to rush. You don't need to compare your journey to others. You just need to keep moving steadily and intentionally, because in the end, it's not the intensity of a single effort that defines your success. It's the consistency of your actions over time that determines where you arrive. Responsibility is the moment you stop pointing outward and start looking inward. It is the decision to say, my life is my result, not partially, completely. Many people want success, but they resist responsibility. They blame circumstances, timing, other people, or lack of opportunity. And as long as blame exists, power disappears because you cannot change what you refuse to own. When you take responsibility, something shifts immediately. You stop waiting. You stop complaining. You start creating. You realize that while you may not control everything that happens to you, you always control how you respond. And that response is where your power lives. Ask yourself, where in my life am I making excuses? Where am I avoiding ownership? Be honest, because excuses may protect your comfort, but they destroy your progress. Every excuse is a delay. Every delay pushes your desire further away. Responsibility does not mean perfection. It does not mean you will never fail or make mistakes. It means when you do, you learn, adjust, and move forward without blaming. You stay in control of your direction even when the path is difficult. When you take full responsibility, your mindset changes. You become proactive instead of reactive. You begin to seek solutions instead of dwelling on problems. You take initiative. You act with intention. And over time, that consistent ownership builds confidence, resilience, and clarity. Understand this clearly. No one is coming to build your life for you. No one can do your thinking, your deciding, your acting. It is your responsibility. And that is not a burden, it is freedom. Because the moment you accept responsibility, you reclaim control. And when you are in control, your desires are no longer distant. They become achievable, one decision at a time.